What is going on YouTube? This is Jim back with another video. Today we're talking all about the Nintendo Direct for April 12th, 2017. I'm a huge fan of Nintendo Direct. This did not disappoint at all. I'm not going to go story by story or game by game rather because there's too much. I'm going to focus on a few things on both the 3DS and the Nintendo Switch that I thought are things worth checking out. First, let's talk about the Nintendo 3DS. There were two games that were absolute standouts to me. The first is called RPG Maker FES, which releases 2 days before my birthday, June 27th. Now, this is a create-your-own RPG type game. It looks like they give you a bunch of assets to make overworld maps and monsters and parties, and you create little scenarios in which you can share with your friends. I don't know how advanced you can make this or how far you could take the game, but it looks a lot of fun. And it reminds me of that old JRPG Final Fantasy II in the US era, where that top-down view where the characters were as big as the towns when you move like one grid at a time. You can make bridges, volcanoes, and really kind of make this really creative-looking overworld map. I think airships from Final Fantasy II, that's the first thing that my mind goes to. So that one looks to be very, very promising. The second is also another RPG. This one is called Miitopia, and it releases in 2017, date unknown. This actually is kind of odd because Nintendo has abandoned the Mii system for the Nintendo Switch, but it's still thriving in 3DS land with Street Pass and now with this game. This game takes all the Miis you've collected, and I have quite a few, and allows you to pull some of them into an RPG game, and you assign them specific roles like Thief or Warrior or Mage, and they go off and have an adventure. Now, the catch is you can't directly control them. They're kind of up to they do what they want to do. They have a mind of their own. And in a couple of the cutscenes, it showed them actually fighting each other, which was kind of interesting, where they kind of lost health or they scuffled against each other. It said eventually through a friendship system, not entirely sure how that works, where they will actually begin to team up, very similar to kind of what you do when you do the Find Me, where you have, you know, like two red shirts team up to do double damage or something like that. And it looks cool. It looks like you can give them little types of equipment, and I don't know how deep it is per se. I don't have a lot of friends who are Miis, so maybe in that sense it won't be as exciting. But it looks like it's a very clever game, and I love that the home of the JRPG remains firmly in the Nintendo 3DS. And these are two new games that are coming out for, you know, the 3DS that look awesome, and you don't really get that experience anywhere else, so I'm very excited for those two. Over on the Nintendo Switch, there was a lot more news. A couple of the things that were most exciting to me, number one was Minecraft. Minecraft is coming to the Switch. This has been rumored for quite some time, but it's definitely coming. The cool thing is that they are creating Nintendo character packs, which I think we all kind of knew was going to happen. So those are themed bricks. Those are themed characters that kind of allow you to live out the Nintendo world. But also, there were custom levels that looks to either be loaded into the game or can be downloaded somehow, where people have gone and recreated Mario, like Peach's Castle from Nintendo 64, or well, World 1-2, Level 1-2 from the original Super Mario Brothers. I saw that one in there as well. And I know people create tons of stuff in Minecraft, so this isn't any reason necessarily to buy this. This has probably already been done in the PC, the Xbox, or the PlayStation version, but it's kind of neat that it's kind of bundled in with it, I think, somehow. And I think Minecraft would be a perfect Switch game because it's, you pick it up, it's kind of on the go, you play a little bit, you put it down. I mean, that's kind of the whole idea with the Switch, right? Like, it's a good second, you know, pick up kind of quick console system. And I'm past the days personally of these long drag out 6-7 hour Minecraft sessions. I just play for a little bit, I want to try something, and then I move on to something else. So I think this is going to be a great fit for the Nintendo Switch, and I'm very excited for that. Another one that they mentioned that I thought was really, really interesting was Puyo-Puyo Tetris, which comes out April 25th. Finally now have a demo with that, which I'm really excited to go check out. The Founders Edition, which comes with a keychain, it's the closest thing to a collector's edition we're going to get. Or maybe it's called Day 1 Edition, I'm not sure. You could pick that up right now in Best Buy for about 40 bucks. If you have Gamer Club unlocked, it's a little less than that. But the demo's out, that's kind of neat. And then I was really surprised to see that Payday 2 is coming to the Switch. Payday 2 is a very violent first-person bank robber shooter game. So I'm not entirely sure how this game's going to run. Not that it looked that great on the computer to begin with, but there are a lot of questions I have with this. Payday has a very intricate economy. It's very dependent on other people to play. Voice chat is very prominent in Payday. There's a lot of microtransactions that are associated with the game. it wasn't very clear to me how this is going to integrate into what the core Payday 2 Steam experience is. So that's going to be something that I'm curious. And that really does open the door that some of these games can be ported over. I know that Jeff Kaplan of Blizzard has mentioned numerous times he would love to bring Overwatch to the Switch, but they don't know how to do it in terms of de-scoping the experience or reducing the graphics or making it more accessible for the Switch. So curious to see how Payday pulls that off. And if they do, Switch owners, get excited. Switch hype, baby. We're going to get more stuff coming out soon. What else did they mention? Anything else we talked about? Oh, ARMS. Obviously, that was kind of one of the big focuses of the event. And I got to say that ARMS continues to look even more in-depth to me than it did before. They showed off levels now that have giant pillars in them with like different obstructions. So you had to like hit around the pillars to do damage, and there was a natural kind of defense system. I did like that. They introduced a new character who's Min Min. She's like the ramen dragon girl. She looked pretty cool. They also announced that there will be 2v2 fighting in the game. I'm curious to see how target switching works in that, but you're going to be able to go into these kind of battle royales with a buddy and duke it out with 2 other players. That is really, really neat. Speaking of cool things with your arms, they also announced that they're continuing to expand their Joy-Cons controllers. Now they're coming out with neon yellow, which looks a little too bright for me. I'm pretty happy with the original neon colors I got with the orange and the blue, but yellow will be coming out. They're still insanely priced. Also, they're coming out with a dock, a standalone dock for limited time only. So if you want to move your Switch all around and have docks on every TV in your house, you could pick this one up. I didn't see what the price was, but knowing everything Nintendo's been doing with peripherals, it's probably a ton of dough. And lastly, their Street Fighter II Ultimate Final Super Challenger Edition. Still with Street Fighter II, I can't believe this, but they announced a new mode that it was new to me, and if you're a hardcore Street Fighter fan, maybe you knew about this. I did not know about this. But you can actually do 2 versus 1, where the 2 players actually share a health bar. I'm not quite sure how that works in terms of just combat. Like, how do you toggle between, I don't know, like who has hit priority? I don't even know, but it sounds a lot of fun. I turned to my wife. She was watching it with me, and she's like, we are so getting that game. So I'm excited for that. We're going to pick it up. That comes out May 26th. So I'll have to give you guys some news on that. But that's everything with the 3DS and with the Nintendo Switch. Lastly, they talked about the new Amiibos. So finally, you guys remember all the cool Smash Amiibos that they added. You remember they added Cloud and Corrin and Bayonetta. They are finally coming to the world on July 21st. I'm very, very excited for that. And they've announced 3 additional Zelda Amiibo. As if we didn't have enough, I'm sure they're going to integrate into the Breath of the Wild and some of the other games. From what I can tell, it looks to be Zelda from Majora's Mask. There's definitely a Link to the Past, and then another just kind of posing Zelda in there. I'm not really sure what that last one is about. And you could probably hear my dog going absolutely bananas on the blanket, which means it's time to go let her out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Get out there, get some Switch hype. I'll post a link to the entire Nintendo Direct. You could see it for yourself. These things are awesome. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.